So in this video, I'm going to talk about and explain why everything is working out for you for your best and highest good. Now I'm going to lay out 3 of the reasons why it seems to be working out this way, as well as some of what you can experience in your life at this time if you haven't already experienced it already, which you probably have, and sort of where it's leading you maybe going forward and what you can kind of intuit about the energies. So reason number 1 why everything is working out for your best and highest good right now is the fact that it's all the work that you put in. And don't worry, by the way, if you can't read that. It's more so for my general structure of how I'm going to go through these points. But everything that you're doing is contributing to basically a contribution to all the work that you've put in up until this point. Okay? There's no doubt that life hasn't always been smooth sailing as it can fall into right now. We're falling into these highs and lows, and we're experiencing right now a lot of breakthroughs, a lot of highs, a lot of emotional, liberating experiences. Whether those are physical things that happen in our reality that are novel and new, or if it's just like an internal state of well-being that feels more expansive and expressive than ever before, we're experiencing these new states, and it's probably not always been that way. There's been periods of time where you've been like in the context of what you were going through. Sorry, I keep interrupting myself. I just have all these streams of thought that want to come through right now. But in the context of what you may have went through and facing your shadow and doing the inner work that required you to kind of clear the space in order for you to get where you are right now, it may not have felt at the time like it was the most difficult experience that you could have went through, that was really a struggle. Yeah, it might have felt like you weren't totally 100% aligned, but in the context of where you were at when you were going through the things that you were going through, you did your best to manage, and it didn't feel all that bad or all that like a life crisis, so to speak. However, don't doubt all the work you've done in order to get here, and how much you've moved through that process of sort of shifting and transitioning your environment. So for me personally, when I look at this, I look back to a couple of years ago, 2020, 2021. Obviously, the pandemic affected a lot of things in our physical reality. But sort of like, for me, it was as we were getting into it and had passed the initial, beginning phases of the pandemic, so to speak, and we had gotten adjusted to it for a time. It was in that space where we were kind of figuring our way back into our life and had these ideas of how we were going to take our life, as COVID may have impacted the way we were going to progress on our journey. So 2021 for me was that. I was in limbo. I was trying different things, but I felt a lot of dis-ease and discomfort in my system. And I couldn't perceive it at the time, but I was doing a lot of inner work. On the one hand, I did notice that, but life just seemed to be not the greatest, but not the worst. It was just kind of like, it was kind of going by. But compare that to where I'm at now, it's like, holy shit. I realize now, and this is why I'm talking about the perspective, like looking back, I've had to do all that stuff in order to get where I am now. And when I look even more recently, some of the things that I've went through, life's kind of gotten better and better, but still in those phases of progression, I've had to look at a lot of shit. And then that's not to mention everything before 2020 or 2021, when we were going about our journeys before they were halted by whatever circumstance they may have arose. And even before that, looking at your pre-awakening experience and how hellish on earth that was, that caused you to transform. So these pressure cycles, whether you realize it or not, whether you think that you're out of your trauma or not, or that you haven't dealt with it totally, completely, or as thoroughly as you maybe should have, the reason why things are working out for you right now, whether you see that or not, is because you've been doing all this work on yourself, all this clearing, all this feeling, all this seeing. Just the fact that you've come into this space of, consciousness and expanding your consciousness and spirituality, it's going to expand your awareness. And, by that frame of mind, what it's going to do is it's going to get you to look at the shit that you haven't seen before. And it's going to get you to, if you're anything like me, and, feel an urge to not get rid of the shit, but look at it so you can process it, you're going to have been doing this work. Even if you're not like me, or even if you choose to avoid more of your shadow and live more of a 3D human experience. If you're watching a video like this and you stumble upon content that's anything like this, you have been doing this work. And that is why life is working out for your best and highest good right now. So point number 2, opportunities that you couldn't say no to. Now, what do I mean by that? This is more of like I guess it could apply to your past, but it's more so like a present theme that I'm picking up on right now in my own life experience, is that because you've been doing all this work, because you've been coming into your own, because you've been growing, expanding, moving into the unknown, so to speak, there's opportunities that have come up as a result, and they've resonated, right? They resonate deeply, and you want to jump on board with these opportunities. And like I mentioned in my last longer YouTube video, we're going to have these strong urges to go after things that are unfamiliar to us, but that we feel a deep calling and resonance to us. But at the same time, we're going to have a lot of resistance to it. And we might, as we have in the past, try to push it away. But right now, because you've kind of shifted your energy and because you're ready for these experiences, life, as much as you might resist it, there's a calling within you that it's going to require you to say yes to that opportunity, whether or not you push it away initially or not. Life is not going to override your free will, so to speak, but at the same time, it's going to call you. You put a lot of investment in the bank of life, so to speak, and life is going to cash it in for you right now. It's kind of like your business ally or associate or your financial advisor in a sense, metaphorically speaking. It's going to be like, hey, buddy, I see that you think that, you need to go this way, but because of all the investments you've made in our account and because we're in such good favor, I'm going to invest in this for you and pull you along this path. And I'm not holding it against your will, but I'm going to pull you in it. And if you decide you don't want to be in it, you can have every right to leave. But, knowing yourself and knowing how liberating and enlivening of an opportunity you're going through, you're going to be, happy as you invest and pursue these experiences. So obviously, when you're jumping into the unknown and having these new encounters and these new developments in your reality, life, by way of cause and effect, is going to shower you with the synchronicities and the praise for you stepping into the unknown, even though you've co-created that experience in pursuing those opportunities, no matter on the spectrum how scary that leap may have been. So you're in new spaces right now. You're pursuing new opportunities. So of course the universe is going to support you and guide you and show you that you're exactly where you need to be and you're good to move full on, full stop, and go where you're going. And lastly, it's because of you. You want to achieve your highest timeline. You want to be here. You want to have life be as optimal and as transformative as it could be. And, as we kind of learn to let go of certain things, attachments to desires and outcomes and things like that, there's an inherent instinct or impulse or desire still to be on the most optimal path that your life can bring you. So that's not a bad thing in this context. It's you wanting to see yourself get the most out of your life and have the most enjoyable experience possible. So the universe is going to co-create with you. You've removed all the blocks. Sure, there may be some attachments that are stifling the energy and blocking the flow of the external coming into your life in the way that you want it. But from a general sense of wanting to achieve well-being so that you can be of service and give back to the universe in a way that supports and enlivens other people, the universe is going to be on your side and supporting you in that. And it's going to use your desire, even if it's egoic, and help you achieve that which you want to accomplish. Okay? And lastly, just a reminder, crazy emotions. We're going through the gambit, highs, lows, sideways, and backwards. This is a reason why we're achieving the highest timeline. We need to feel like absolute doggy doo-doo to know what it's like to really be in alignment and flow and harmony with the universe. The universe gives us that contrast so we can tune into her, appreciate her, allow her to open us up to new experiences and tap into the flow of our hearts, because within is without, and everything that we're seeking within out there lies within this space as well. So harmonize it. You're taking your life to a new level. It's opening up in ways that you cannot even fathom. So trust that the universe is supporting you, and more importantly, that you deserve everything that is coming your way.